Welcome to Greece!
All right, so over the next 5 days, we're going to be taking you around Athens, Greece, showing you historical sites, immersing you in the culture, the delicious food, and taking in the beautiful views of the city.
Okay, so we just arrived in our hotel in Athens, and got our little celebratory welcome drink.
Yay, cheers!
It was a pretty easy travel day. We had a car from Sorrento to Napoli, and then an hour and a half plane ride here to Athens. So it was nice.
So as Jared had mentioned, we actually rented a car to take us to the Napoli airport from Sorrento because we've had the worst luck with buses since we got to Europe about a month ago. And we didn't want to take a chance we'd miss our flight. So we canceled the bus we had. We spent way more money and rented a car, but at least we got to the airport on time and we got our flight, which was great.
Yeah, it's a quick drive from Sorrento into Napoli.
All right, so we have made it to our new home for the next 6 nights at this super cute little boutique style hotel in Athens, kind of just on the edge of city center, and we wanted to show you our room. So, Darren, if you will pan over here, as you walk in, you have a safe and a little mini fridge. And then of course we have some cozy robes. I'm gonna totally utilize that later. Coming this way, we have the bedroom / sitting room. This is, I think, oh yeah, that's nice. Then we have the very nice size bed. That's cozy too. Of course, we have a television. I think we've got at least cable channels, hopefully some streaming channels. I can't honestly remember. I've made so many bookings, cannot remember what's on the TV, but hopefully we can watch something good. We have a cute little desk set up with a coffee maker and teapot. So I'm a tea drinker and I'm totally gonna make myself a tea in a little bit. And last but certainly not least, our bathroom. So now in our bathroom, we have this really nice walk-in shower with a rainwater shower head. That looks really nice. Good size, not cramped or anything. We have a toilet with one of my favorite things since we've been coming to different hotels in Europe. One of my favorite things is this little floor mat with these feet. I don't know if you could see it, but this is like totally a thing in Europe. These floor mats with these little feet to put outside the shower. I think that's the cutest thing ever. You don't see that in the States. And then a nice little sink area with a nice big sink, some toiletries and things like that, hair dryer, slippers, really nice bathroom. We're going to kind of stay local today, check all that out. This hotel also has a gym, which we're in desperate need of, and a really cool little rooftop space with waterfalls and things like that. So we're gonna check that out this evening as well. As you can see, one of the less glamorous parts of full-time travel, but totally necessary. Can you believe what we just stumbled upon? We're just walking to a monument and came upon this like ancient Roman bath that they unearthed when they were about to blow out an area to put in a metro. So cool.
Okay, we are at Olympian Park in downtown Athens, and this is the Zeus's temple, which is currently covered in scaffolding. You can't see anything of it. When we swing around, we'll see two of the columns that you can see really well, but most of this right now is either being restored or repaired. So I'm gonna swing the camera around real quick so you can see all the scaffolding and what you can't see.
Yeah, I'm kind of assuming that they're doing some sort of like restoration work to it, but it's really a shame because the view is so obstructed, and this is obviously one of the main sights to see when you come to Athens, one of the main ruins. Unfortunately, it was completely pillaged by the barbarians, just like a lot of ancient Rome. So this is what's left of it, and what's left is not really visible right now. So, you know, it's just kind of, it is what it is. When you travel, you know that there's going to be things you go to that they're working on or that you can't access for one reason or another. And that's where we're at today. All right, so the Temple of Zeus was built between 124 and 132 AD. And as you can see, this is what is left of the temple. But considering this thing is almost 1,000 years old, I think we're pretty lucky to even see this much of it.
Okay, so we just finished up the Olympian Park. Saw a lot of neat ruins, and like I said, they're extremely old, and some stuff's in really good condition, considering we saw an ancient Greek tortoise running across the ground.
He could be ancient, we don't know. They lived so long.
And
that's our first wildlife in almost a month of traveling, minus some like tuna that were fishing one morning in
saw some tuna jumping, yeah. So we finished up the park, and now I'm gonna go find some Chaetus Maximus.
It's a little toasty today.
No, we're gonna go head over to Hadrian's Gate. Is that correct?
That's right, Hadrian's Arch.
Gate. Hadrian's Arch.
All right, so just on the other side of Olympian Park is Hadrian's Arch, otherwise known as Hadrian's Gate. This was built during the Roman rule here in Greece around 125-ish AD. Again, just honoring the Roman Emperor Hadrian. So when you're in Athens, you will see a lot of Roman influence as well as ancient Greek influence.
So we made a quick afternoon stop at a cute little cafe for a couple of smoothies. I got the apple mango type smoothie, and Lena got the...
It's like a sour cherry with oats and something else. I can't remember what it is. But it's really delicious.
Yeah, super cute little cafe. I'll show you the inside in a minute. Entering a very popular area in Athens, which is called Monastiraki Square. Now, the reason we're coming here right now is because on Sundays, every Sunday, this whole square basically gets taken over by like a massive flea market. So, totally a cool thing to come and see while you're here, if you're here on a Sunday. Darren, what did you get? The chicken souvlaki.
And I went with the Greek salad. We're in this super cute restaurant that's in the Plaka area, Plaka neighborhood in Athens. And this place is very highly rated. So we're gonna dig in and let you know what we think. I think it's safe to say we both enjoyed our lunches.
So tasty, really good. Okay, after a hearty lunch, we are now at Hadrian's Library.
I thought you were gonna say more. What's the matter with you? Let me fill in a gap or two. All right, so this library was created by Emperor Hadrian in 132 AD. And this is where all the rolls of papyrus and books which would be like modern day books, were kept. So it's pretty amazing. This is a Roman structure from the Roman Empire. We're seeing little bits and pieces of what's left of it, and it's honestly way better preserved than some of the other stuff that we've seen so far today. But it just really puts things into perspective, how badly everything was destroyed by all the people that invaded Greece after the Roman Empire fell.
One thing you truly notice when you walk around these sites in Athens, the ruins, is that, you know, they are ruins as opposed to Italy and Croatia where they're still intact structures. So as you walk around these things, they do provide pictures occasionally, or you really need to use your imagination to kind of figure out what it might have looked like as opposed to, say, walking around Pompeii.
And so we're really fortunate because I think getting to see what we did in Croatia and Italy, getting to see how well intact they still are, versus really, like Darren said, these true ruins here in Greece, we're really fortunate that we were able to see those things. But we're still super fortunate. I think that seeing these things is still very, very interesting, really cool, and something that I know we both look forward to for a really long time, getting to see, you know, ancient Greece and the Roman influence here. All right, so behind me is part of what is in Hadrian's library, but this is actually the church. We thought this was a library, but this is the church. And notice it's the one thing that's still really, really perfectly intact. So really neat little gem that we found right here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're on our second day out and we are headed to the Acropolis Museum,
which we heard is better to go to before you go to the Acropolis. And not only does it have relics from the Acropolis and artifacts, but also you get to learn about what you'll see at the Acropolis, so it'll all make much more sense to you when you visit, you know, the Parthenon and all the sites up there that day.
So a very different feel this morning as it's Monday and all the shops, the stores, and markets are open.
And all the like street vendors.
Yeah, very busy. The hustle and the bustle of Athens. It's very different and kind of fun to be walking through.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to keep in mind, especially for our North American viewers, is that, you know, a lot of these countries in Europe are very religious. Most people in Greece are Greek Orthodox, so they don't necessarily work on Sundays. It's a day of rest and time with family. So kind of keep that in mind when you're looking for things to do, places to go, restaurants to eat in. Some stuff may be closed.
We walk in the shade whenever we can.
So this is the Plaka neighborhood, and I'd like to give you a recommendation. If you're able to, stay in this area. It is really cute. There's some great shops, really nice restaurants, cute neighborhood. It's just a picture perfect little spot right at the base of the Acropolis with phenomenal views of the Parthenon and the Acropolis from here. So if you can, stay in this neighborhood.
Yeah, so here we are, and I know it can't see, this is the GoPro, so it doesn't really focus or zoom, but this is the top of the Acropolis. You can see the Greek flag flying right there. Yeah, so like Nina said, this is a super cute area with great cafes, hustle and bustle of everyday business. It's a great area.
Good restaurants, and honestly, the people here are so sweet. We interacted with several store owners and workers yesterday, and everybody was so nice and so welcoming and friendly, and just kind of made you feel at home. So another thing to love about it.
Yes, very friendly, very friendly. now we're inside the museum, and the museum sits on an archaeological site itself, and much of everything here was, you know, recovered from in and around the Acropolis. And it's amazing.
It is amazing. So, you know, obviously they didn't want to leave all this stuff up there to get weathered and potentially destroyed even more, so they brought it into the museum to protect it. And again, really important, I think, to see these things before you go to the Acropolis itself, so you have a better understanding of what it is you're looking at. So as you can see, below the Acropolis Museum, there's actually an archaeological excavation site of an ancient homes and baths and public latrines and stuff like that. They've literally built the museum right on top of to protect it. So this was all built between the 4th and 6th century AD.
Okay, we just finished up about 4 hours at the museum. It was very informative, very cool, a lot of information, a lot of relics, ruins.
Neat artifacts.
From very, very old. What's the oldest thing we saw?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
600-700 BC?
Yeah, thereabouts. Just really, really fascinating for all the history lovers, especially if you love things like Greek culture and mythology. This is totally a place you want to come to learn as much as you can and to see what's been preserved. So we opted to do this in a separate day from going up to the Acropolis. We just figured that it may be a little bit too much to do both in the same day. I know people do the museum and Acropolis on the same day, but I think if you really want to dedicate enough time to each, maybe choose to split those up.
In my soul, in my soul, in my soul, in my soul, I feel so alive. I feel so alive. I feel so alive.
Possibly a pro tip regarding the museum. If you're going and making sort of a day of it, go in the afternoon. You'll miss all the big tours in the morning, and it was far quieter after lunch.
And so, you know, yesterday we were at Hadrian's Library and we were talking about how, like, everything has just been really affected by, you know, the devastation of man over hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years, really. Well, I think that we can safely say after today that there are some ruins here and there are some, you know, ancient areas that, even though, yes, they are ruins, they're still really, really nicely intact and absolutely worth seeing. So it definitely lifted our spirits today, I think, to see some of that. So tonight we are headed to a rooftop restaurant with a view of the Acropolis for dinner. There are tons of really cool little rooftop bars and restaurants in Athens, and we're going to check one of those out for dinner this evening.
Look at this.
In my soul, in my soul, in my soul, I feel so alive. I feel so alive. I feel so alive. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul, in my soul.
How's your burger?
Burger's good. Fries good. My Moscow mule is good. The scenery is great.
Love you. right, good morning. So we are starting our day off with a visit to the Roman Agora. And an agora is just basically like a town center where everybody gathers. There's a whole bunch of features here. Official business was oftentimes conducted here as well. This agora was built between 27 and 17 BC. Just behind the Ancient Agora, and it was built by funds that were given to them by Augustus in fulfillment of a promise made to Julius Caesar in 57 BC. So really cool piece of history today. And even though it's not been fully excavated, you'll see that there are a lot of pieces that are still actually really nicely intact.
Okay, now the most intact structure here at the Roman Agora is the monument behind me, which is called the Tower of the Winds, and it was built around the 2nd century BC.
Hello. So we are in now the Ancient Agora, and for all intents and purposes, as far as I'm concerned, like this is basically ancient Greece. It's kind of like the Roman Forum in Rome, where this was like the center of Greek life back in classical times. And as you can see, they had an absolutely stellar view of the Acropolis from their forum. This is where all their business took place, whether it was theatrical, religious, political. The birth of democracy was right here in this forum. Like basically the first democratic elections took place here, commercial, all that kind of stuff. So this was the center of ancient Greek life, and actually pretty spectacularly preserved, which we're going to see, I think, one of the most interesting buildings in Greece, which is this temple here called the Temple of, I might be saying this wrong, Hephaestus. You're going to see it in a second. It's beautiful.
Okay, we just finished up at the Ancient Agora. It was really cool, a lot of cool sights and ruins to check out. Now we're taking the scenic route around Athens to get to the Acropolis.
Alrighty, so we are officially at the Acropolis, and this is the Odeon of Herodes Atticus, built around 160 to 169 AD. Unfortunately, the theater was destroyed by the Herulaeans in 267 AD, but it was unearthed, and it's currently still being used for concerts and theatrical productions. So as I mentioned, there are multiple ways to enter into the Acropolis. We came through the side that takes you straight through the shrine of Athena Hygeia, which is that gorgeous structure right behind me.
So we made it up through the crowds, and as you can see behind me, this is the Parthenon.
Yeah, in true Darren and Nina fashion, another historical site that's covered with scaffolding. But I completely understand, like, they want to try to restore the Parthenon. I think that that's a totally worthwhile endeavor, and I think we'll just have to come back once it's a little more complete and see what they're able to accomplish. This structure was built in the 5th century BC as a thanksgiving for the Hellenic victory over the Persians during the Greco-Persian Wars. It sustained a lot of damage over the years. It was used as a treasury. During one period, it was also used as a munitions storage, and the Venetians blew it up. So that's why there was so much structural damage to the Parthenon, was actually because of that explosion. It also underwent some other trauma like arson and things like that. There's been a restoration project understory since 1975 to help preserve the remaining artifacts and the structural integrity of the building. All right, so the Parthenon was dedicated to the goddess Athena, that was the protector of the city of Athens during ancient times. However, this temple actually did get converted multiple times. As I mentioned, it had several uses, one of which became a Christian church, and then during Ottoman rule, they turned it into a mosque. So again, started out as a temple for an ancient deity and evolved over the course of time. So I got one thing to say.
Ooh.
It's a little windy up here.
Yeah, we got gusts above 30, 35 miles an hour up here today. So it's challenging for people with hair.
All right, so I think I can speak for Darren as well. It goes without saying, a trip to the Acropolis is 100% worth it if you have any interest whatsoever in Athens, ancient Greece, Greek mythology, anything like that. Absolutely put a trip to Athens on your bucket list. Come to the Acropolis, see all the amazing temples. It's 100% worth it and has absolutely been a highlight of our trip.
I agree. I think it's my favorite spot. There are certainly other things we've visited that are spectacular in itself, but this is amazing. You know, to sit there and walk around something that's so old and has seen so much, you know, tragedy, frankly. You know, just
absolutely.
It's been taken in so many invasions and blown up, and now it's trying to be rebuilt at some level. It's a spectacular sight, and it's worth seeing.
100%.
Chocolate wall flowing down, taunting us.
As our time in Europe is coming to its end, at least for now, we of course have thoroughly enjoyed so many things, one of which is all the delicious gelato. Today is no exception. Darren, what did you get?
Stracciatella and dark chocolate.
And I went with Old Faithful, plain chocolate. Delicious?
Delicious. And our time, like you said, is dwindling down here. I don't think we're going to get this in our next destination. Where could that be?
Which we're not going to tell you about.
Good morning. This is our last day in Greece and
I'm super sad about.
And our last day in Europe.
Bittersweet. We've had an amazing time, but we have some really cool things that we have planned coming up as well that we're absolutely looking forward to. But I've really loved it here, and I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah, I'm sad to see us leaving Greece. I really like it here. It's a really pretty place. We're currently walking through a really great park on our way to our last destination. Okay, so from our hotel to the Olympic Stadium, we're walking through this park, and it is gorgeous. What's the name of it again?
So this is the National Park in Athens, and it's really fantastic. There are, not only are there, sorry, we keep seeing these cute little kitties in the park over here, and there's one just hanging out in the shade. It's absolutely adorable. So not only is the vegetation absolutely gorgeous, but there's also some really cool features here, including some archaeological sites. So highly recommend if you get a chance to take a stroll through the park.
Okay, our final destination, we've reached it, and it is
It's called the Panathenaic Stadium. We are a little ruined out after these last several weeks. So we saved something really cool for the last destination that we're gonna hit here in Athens. Now this stadium is really, really old. This was actually built in about 400 BC. It went through some renovations. It was rebuilt in marble by Herodes Atticus, the Athenian Roman senator, in 144 AD. And it was built entirely in marble. So this is the only stadium in the entire world that is completely made of marble, which makes it very special. Now the Olympics, the very first modern Olympic Games, were held here in 1896. And then again in 2004. So in addition, it's the last venue in Greece that the torch gets handed over by the host nation for the Olympics.
So it's really funny when you go from the lower sections to the next section to the next section. The stairs are almost like marble ladders. And I'll let you, Nina, climb these to show you what I'm talking about.
People weren't exactly tall back then either. Okay, so as Darren said, we have absolutely loved our time in Athens. I can't remember if I'd mentioned this before, but we have thought about just doing a few days in Athens and then like hitting up some of the islands. And we decided not to do that. We decided just to focus 5 whole days on Athens, 5.5. And I'm so glad we did. Honestly, there's so much to do here, and there's still so much we didn't get to see, even in almost a week. So I highly recommend, if you're coming to Greece, make Athens at least 5 to 7 days of your trip, and don't try to just short your time too much, because there is so much to do and see here. All right, so we're doing a lap around the stadium right now. Some people are really funny. They've been, you know, racing each other and sprinting and stuff like that, because, you know, where else can you say is cooler than to be able to do a sprint in the place where the very first modern Olympic Games was held?
Yeah, and we're doing the Olympic walking event. Race walking.
I'm winning.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And in closing, just want to tell you thanks so much for watching. We certainly do appreciate it. If you could subscribe, like, and share all the YouTube stuff, that'd be extremely helpful, as we're really, really new at this, and we're trying to grow, and we're trying to do the best we can for you guys. And you know, we'd appreciate all the support you can give us.
Yes, we appreciate your support. Thank you for watching our video, and we hope to see you next week.
Yep. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Up. Look at all fluffy. Wait. Okay.
Okay, after a hearty lunch, we are now, start over.
And we're going to check it out. You can edit that part out.
We are absolutely gonna go check it out.
I'm not okay.
But I'm super excited to be here.
That's my line. Obviously, this
Cut.
sacked by so many different powers in the world. Oh God, I can't get this out. I want to be able to put my arms up, and if you're too close to me, I can't.
Oh, what are we doing?
Welcome to Greece.
What am I supposed to do with my arm? Reading, the current capacity is approximately 15,000 people. So
50.
Sorry, 15. So So after doing some reading, it seems like
I know.
also the current capacity is approximately 50,000 people.